What's better than cheese? Smoked cheese. And I'm about to prepare a lot of it today. In good old brimstone here, I'm going to be cold smoking cheese. I've got, this is actually 6 bricks that were 700 grams of just old cheddar, just your plain old regular old cheddar from the grocery store. I am going to convert it into some awesome smoked cheddar in just a matter of hours today, and it'll be ready actually in about a month because it needs some time to age. So what I've got here in the smoker, I've got it set up with my fire brick heat shield down here. And I've just got a small quantity of charcoal, which I'm going to fire up. I'll just get it so a few of the briquettes are actually flaming. I don't want too much of this charcoal to be burning at any given point. I just want to create like a nice slow trickle of smoke, create minimal heat throughout. Right now it's maybe 5 degrees Celsius outside. And the temperature in here, it's not going to climb high enough to do any kind of melting to that cheese, which is really kind of key. So I'm just sort of taking advantage of the cool weather today. So I'll let this thing fire up and we'll check in on it in a sec. So this is fired up enough for now. I'm just going to let it go. I'm going to make some alderwood little cigar things. I'll show you how to do that in a second. And they'll be added in about half an hour. I'm just going to move some of this charcoal around so that it will sort of catch as this slowly burns, but you can see that's not going to be too much charcoal for this giant smoker. So I will see you in a sec. Now, in addition to the charcoal, I'm also going to make what I call alderwood cigars, and I kind of have to do this because the only alderwood I have access to are just these little chips here, which would just burn up really quite quickly in that smoker. And I'm not really a fan of soaking the chips. I prefer them to be dry. So what I'm going to do here is just take this foil, fold it in half. I'm going to add a decent amount of that alderwood. I'd actually get a little bit more on there. And I'm going to create a tube, and I'm going to compress this wood. I'll add just a little bit more now that it's all up here. Compress the wood as much as possible just to help slow down the burn while it's on top of the charcoal. So I just kind of get it like this, and then once I know that it's not going to spill, when I squish it, I just kind of crush it together like this. And the smoke can obviously, not spill, the smoke can obviously still get out, so that's not an issue, but it is compressed really quite tightly, which is awesome. So about 20 minutes or so after that smoker's fired up, that charcoal that's in there will kind of stop smoking. So I'm going to add this. I like to use alder wood for my wood when it's any kind of cold smoking stuff, for cheese or salmon or trout or anything like that. I find it's a really gentle smoke that's not going to overpower the base product. So anyway, I'll show you when this is ready to go in. It's actually been an hour now, and the smoke kind of finally stopped trickling out the front. So I've got my little alderwood cigars here. I'm just going to take one of them and set it up on top there. And you can see it's already kind of starting to smoke a little bit. I also added just a touch more charcoal kind of around everything so that my charcoal won't just burn away and there'll be none left. Awesome. So we'll see how that looks. I can't resist poking my head in here and checking things out. That nice smoke coming up here. So here we are after 4.5 hours of cold smoking. You can see this is the cheese here. Looks a little bit drier than when we started, but oh yeah, lots of smoke coming off that. Just gonna pull them off here and then take them inside to wrap up. So here we are. I've just taken this down to the basement. Now, the whole trick here is to let it sit overnight somewhat open. So if I'm just doing like a couple little bricks of cheese, I'll normally just take a large Ziploc bag and set them in there and leave it open. But since I have so much here, and it was going to take like 5 Ziploc bags to do it right, I'm just going to use some plastic wrap and set it over top loosely. And this is really just so that the cheese can off-gas smoke and it's going to lose some of the more potentially acrid flavors overnight. And yeah, I mean, this is kind of weird. You think about cheese and not leaving it out at room temperature and making sure it's sealed up all the time, but this just at room temp, not sealed, totally works for this. So we're gonna let it sit like that. And then tomorrow morning, we're gonna take it, and if there's any moisture at all, we're just gonna pat it off with a little bit of paper towel and then vacuum seal it. And it is then going to resemble this right here, which in the next little clip, we're gonna slice up and show you. So after it's vacuum sealed, you ideally want to leave this for at least 4 weeks, during which time the moisture is all going to equalize and the smoke is going to, again, equalize throughout the entire cheese. So this is what this one looks like. It's been 5 weeks sitting in the vacuum seal bag. Now, you can either vacuum seal it, which would be the best because it's going to last for at least a year in the fridge. Alternatively, you could plastic wrap it really tightly and then Ziploc bag it and throw it in there, but if you have a vacuum sealer, that's definitely the way to go. And so then this is just what it's like sliced right here. I'll take the big one. And so, yeah, smoky, beautiful. It's not harsh, it's not acrid. You can definitely tell it's smoked, but it's still moist, not harsh at all. It's just amazing. This is great in stews, in chilies, sliced like this with charcuterie, or just eaten straight up like this. It's fantastic. So yeah, smoke your cheese, keep it in a little oven.